go live. Take about a second here. Okay, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to a brand new episode of VR 365. This is a little bit old school styly. So basically what we're doing tonight, guys, is we're doing a live stream. Yeah, back to the live show. And I do have a special guest. I am in a different kind of a window right about now. We are in a 4-square setup here, and I got my boy Chris Richardson in the upper right corner of the screen. Chris, what is going on? How are you doing? Oh, your volume is real low, but what I'll do is I'll pump you up to the max over here. Go ahead, say something else.
Hello, how you doing, Anthony?
Okay,
Can
cool,
you hear me
yeah,
okay?
Yeah. Now I got you much better. And those of you over there in Chisels, if anybody's in chat, let us know if the sound is off or whatever. We had a little bit of some technical difficulties, but Chris is now in the mix. You're still a little bit, Chris, if you're able to see the YouTube stream without having like the audio turned up or anything, then you can get a better idea of how you're like really off to one side of the one side
I'll
of the
try
screen.
and bring it up.
Or just turn your camera more towards you. If you turn your camera more towards you, that's the wrong way, the other way. Yeah, there, keep going. Yeah, keep going. Yeah, there we go, man. You're centerized.
That's
you
bizarre.
are centerized in a
so
pretty kind of a good way.
Center.
Okay, yeah, it's weird. I don't know it's because it's a long story. But anyway, guys, welcome to a brand new episode of VR 365. Now, here's the deal. We've got an interesting show for you guys tonight. It's going to be a little bit different than what you're probably expecting. Are me and Chris going to talk all about Jurassic Park Aftermath? I mean, both of us took the day off work today, and all we played was Jurassic Park Aftermath, so we can give you the inside scoop. Oh, no, we didn't. We didn't take off work today, and we have not played Jurassic Park Aftermath. Oh, I know what we can do. Chris, let's talk about Medal of Honor Above and Beyond. We've both completed it, and we could talk about everything about it. Oh, no, that's not true either. What we're going to do instead tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is we are going to discuss this idea, an interesting idea, where can somebody buy a PC VR headset and play a ton of free stuff and be incredibly entertained? I'm talking about games, I'm talking about experiences, I'm talking about demos, and I'm talking about stuff that blurs the lines between the two. So what we're going to think about today, guys, a VR freeloader. Can you be a freeloader? I'm going to make the argument, Chris, that you can be a freeloader. I'm going to make the argument that it is very possible to be a freeloader and you don't have to pay anything. In fact, let me make this argument real quick. So you can buy a Rift S for $299. All right, so you can go get a Rift S for $299. If you've got a PC that can run this stuff, you literally can live for months. You can live for months on nothing but free content. There really is a lot of free content. And this could be a valuable idea for somebody out there. If you know somebody that's like, yeah, man, I'd buy a VR headset, but I really don't got money for all the games and everything. You could be like, no, you don't get it. Just get the VR headset. There is so much free content for you to possibly dig your teeth into. And that's what we're going to talk about on today's show. In fact, recently on VRGameRankings.com, I updated a section of the website where we have the top 50. Oh, I got to add Chris over here. Hold on one second, folks. I have not added Chris into this window. Okay, add existing and guest. We were really late. There's Chris in super definition. And I will get him into his little cubicle here. And I will lower him in. And there we go. Okay, so we're set up now, guys. Sorry about that. But I recently updated this chart, Chris. Let me tell you a quick little story. So if you go to like Google and you just do a search for like top free Oculus, this is one of the first things that comes up. And the thing was, it was so outdated. It was incredibly outdated. And I had stuff like I had Robo Recall #1, and it said Robo Recall free with touch, which was the case in like 2017. There was all kinds of stuff that like Lucky's Tale was free. Dead and Buried was free. It used to be a situation where when you bought you bought the touch controllers, there were all these different free games that came along with it, and a lot of this stuff is not free anymore. So it was a serious embarrassment because it was all this old info. I had to update it all, and I've tried to do that, and me and Chris are going to kind of discuss that a little bit today. So Chris, so what do you think about like free content and stuff? What do you think about this idea? Do you believe somebody can get themselves like an Oculus Rift S, and if they've got a PC VR that is capable of running that setup, can they live on an incredible smorgasbord of free content, or am I out of my head here?
You're absolutely correct. One of the first things I did when I got my Rift many moons ago was go through the store and just see what was available for free. And I filled my drive. It was just crazy the amount of content that exists out there. And some of it being interactive, and some of it being some of the better games in VR. So yeah, there's plenty to delve into without spending a red nickel.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of great stuff. A real quick question. Anybody in chat, is our voice levels pretty decent here? Or do I need to turn somebody up or somebody down? Let me know on that. But if our voice volume is good, that's great. Yeah, dude, there's crazy tons of stuff. I mean, think about when you first got your VR setup. I can tell you when I first got my VR setup, the very first thing I experienced was Steam VR setup, where those things are like turning, desks are flipping over and the little guys are, like you're in that warehouse, when you blow the bubbles and all that stuff. And that's a cool experience. And that's setting up Steam VR. But then there's all these other little experiences you can try. I mean, there's some great stuff. For example, here, now on this ranking, so what I did, Chris, just to talk about rankings real quick, how do you rank this stuff? Like, it's so subjective. How do you put this into some type of ranking? Well, what I do personally is I try to think of all these things as if they were physical games that were like sitting on a table, and I'm looking at like PlayStation 4 cases or something, they're all scattered on the table, and the guy says, you can take one of these games, which you've already experienced a million times, and you can erase your memory. You can wipe your memory, and you can experience one of these things brand new, like you've never ever experienced it before. So you think of your favorite things and you think, man, if I could wipe my memory, what would I want to experience over again? And #1, I've got Oculus First Contact in there at #1 with a bullet. Now, you might not personally have this #1 on your list, Chris, but I got to imagine it's got to be maybe in the top 5, top 10, right? I don't know.
As far as things that to put a person in who's never experienced VR before, that you want to get, across the range of things that are possible, this is an excellent choice.
Yeah. And I mean, this isn't just, well, basically, it is kind of for noobs. It's kind of for people that are new to VR. But even if it's not just trying to get somebody or show somebody a demo material, if somebody hasn't tried Oculus First, or do you think it's kind of boring and rudimentary after a while, or it's a little too basic for like a VR veteran?
Well, you got to remember, they forced First Contact upon you when you first install the application, and I was doing installs all the time when I first got it. So I've gone through this demo so many times that I'm a little sick of it personally. But it's still the things that you forget about that it does, the little interactions with the robot, that sort of thing. First Contact is super good. It looks clean. It's tactile. Like there's plenty of stuff around you to reach out, grab, and play around with. All those things are teaching you like how to make these things work. And we forget, like, controllers are second nature to us. But like for a person who's never been in VR, even if they're a gamer, the idea of reaching out and touching with their hands is going to be something they have to, figure out what those middle buttons are, figure out what triggers do, and seeing their hands represented and giving a one-to-one response to what they're doing. That's huge. Just the little bungee cord thing. I remember that being cool. Grabbing it and letting go and seeing it bounce around.
Yeah, shooting the rockets, the little pop rockets. And yeah, so, I mean, I don't know. I think this was really awesome. And when Oculus, when they made this was basically designed as a way to introduce someone to the Oculus Touch and to having hand presence and seeing your hands and then interacting with things and using the different buttons on the Oculus Touch controller. And I thought they did a fantastic job with everything. But what I was really most impressed with in this entire experience was the lighting. The way the sunlight is coming in, the way it looks like it's kind of like there's some dust and particles in the room, but like the light is coming in off the top. And you also have those little targets that move along and you can shoot it with your little gun, and just you're interacting with these like little Nintendo game tapes, and you're putting them into this hologram thing, and everything kind of has like this analog retro style appeal to all the different monitors that are warming up and turning on.
It actually has a Ready Player One look to it. Like this could be a person who was in that world, that dystopian future.
Yeah, it's clean, it's crisp. I think it's a great way to bring somebody into VR and give them that first taste. And another thing we got to mention here, though, this list that I'm talking about is the top 50 Oculus Rift games and experiences, and we got to remember that a lot of this stuff is exclusive to Oculus. Now you can try this out with Revive and everything, but it is designed for Oculus Touch controllers, so there might be a little bit of weirdness there. I'm not sure, but it probably works fine for the most part. But do you ever have concerns, Chris, as far as like Revive goes? Do you feel like you almost need to own one headset that like will at least work with all the Oculus stuff properly?
You don't know the trouble I've seen, Anthony, as far as all the means of getting connected with all the different headsets. I've had Windows mixed reality headsets. I've had, the Rift, and then the Rift S, and then the Quest. And you assume some things are going to work, like, I'll just plug the link cable in, and now it's a Rift, and everything's going to work. That's not necessarily the case. So, there is especially if you're dealing with things like using a third-party app to make things work, virtual desktop is not going to work with every app out there. Revive is not going to work with every app out there. You're going to run into conditions where these tried and true solutions that people tell you about, they don't actually come through for you, and that just causes frustration. So that's something to bear in mind if you're a noob and trying out these things for the first time. If it doesn't work, don't always assume it's you. It could be that it's an old app. Like, I was going through Anthony's list of 50 games just to refresh myself or try some of the stuff that I'd never actually played, because his lists are great for illuminating things like that. And the first two experiences I went in virtual desktop came up as just a flat screen experience. Like, and I knew it worked as VR. I have a Rift S. I just plugged it in and it worked. But like, this is an example of Revive is not bulletproof.
Yeah, it can be. It can definitely be some issues. I'm looking at some of the comments here in chat. So Onakaze says, I don't really consider Oculus First Contact a game. It's not. It's not a game. It's an experience. This ranking that I'm talking about here is the top 50 Oculus Rift games and experiences and demos. So it can be a free game, it can be a free experience, it can be a free demo. As long as it's some kind of VR entertainment thing and it's free, it can be on this list. Now, there is one little weird thing, though. I don't really want to have applications on this ranking because I was going to have a separate ranking specifically for applications. So you don't see big screen TV on here. You don't see like alt space and a lot of other things that might be on here if I was doing apps. But Chris, you mentioned Google Earth. And so you kind of feel like Google Earth is an app. So maybe I'm a little bit off the mark here. I mean, some of these things are like borderline. They can kind of be in between, whether it's an app or not, right?
That's just like you said, it's a coin flip as to whether or not you put it in the experiences column or you put it in the applications. I certainly use it as an app. I took my VR headset with me on vacation because that's the kind of thing I do to Hawaii. And whenever we were planning a day where we were going to go to a location, I'd literally sit on the bed, fire up my my headset, and scope out the area that we were planning on checking out virtually. I'd fly over the area like we were going to the Dole plantation. I was able to see the maze from a vantage point you can't get when you're there. You can't, unless you brought a drone and hover it up, you can't fly over the maze and see what it looks like. So to me, it's an application.
Yeah, it probably is. And so when I have my app list, I'm probably going to have to make some changes. But you know what? At number 2, so here's another arbitrary thing that I did with this list. Another arbitrary thing is I've taken I've taken the main pieces of the lab and I've broken them into like separate pieces. So robot repair, for example, which honestly, when I first got VR and I first tried robot repair, one of the most incredible things I ever experienced. Some might even say that some of the stuff they did in robot repair actually feels a little bit better than like Alex in certain ways, but I mean, that might be blasphemy to say that, but robot repair in the beginning was pretty freaking incredible the first time you tried this one, right?
Without a doubt, it's very cool. I'm not I got in during the summer of Rift, so it took me a while to get around to playing around with some of the Steam applications like this. The lab wasn't one of the first things I jumped in. I was over on the Rift side of the world, the Oculus side of the world. So it took me a while to get to these things. And yeah, they're definitely cool. But I find it interesting, Anthony, that you broke up the lab, but you have Rec Room listed as a single thing. Because you could fill this list with awesome Rec Room game experiences.
Well, I probably need to make the lab just one individual thing. But what happened was I originally made this list like way back in the early days, and we didn't have a lot of stuff. So it was kind of cool to break it into pieces and highlight some of the different things like Longbow and Zortex 26XX. For example, let's go back here to this ranking. I wanted to see where I had some of these other ones. Going down.
But wasn't Rec Room one of the first out the gate as well? Like it's been around since the dawn of this new age of VR. Am I incorrect in that?
Yeah, no. Rec Room's been around for quite some time. I believe it was I don't know, was it 2016 when Rec Room hit? But it was pretty early. But I have Zortex 26XX ranked 24th. And I have Slingshot 30. That's definitely, no, Slingshot is really funny though. Slingshot is really funny. Secret Shop, I got 40. Yeah, probably don't need to have all those broken up into individual pieces. But that's neither here nor there. There's still just an incredible amount of great stuff. Oh, go ahead.
If you squeeze those down, you'd have room for a ton of things that I think actually deserve to be a lot higher on your list. Like do you even have the BBC bombing raid?
Berlin Blitz. I don't think that was
Yeah.
that good, dude. To me, the Berlin Blitz
What?
of the stuff that I would
What?
put in the top 50, there might be a couple of things that I would like to add to the top 50 that I don't have right now, but nah, Berlin Blitz would not
You
be
are
one of them.
blowing my mind, sir. Holy
It's
cats.
okay. It's okay.
It's okay. Wait. You have that app. I tried this, Anthony, because back when it came out, you were singing its praises, and I was like, what the hell? This doesn't look that great. You have the app where you're in a car driving along and 3 songs
Oh
play.
yeah, dude, that is awesome, man. Sheaf
Oh
together
my god!
EP. Sheaf
You
together
don't
EP,
have
bro.
Berlin
It's at number
Blitz.
35. It's better than Wolfenstein 3D.
You are killing me, sir.
No, but there is a
Okay.
wonderful vibe. So, but a lot of this is like experiences and stuff. It could be like a 5 minute thing if it's a really good 5 minute thing. So here's another thing that I have ranked on here, though, that you never tried until just recently. We've got it ranked at number 16. It is called Show It To Me. And you recently tried this, I believe, because you from this list, and you were like,
Yesterday.
yep, this is pretty freaking dope, right?
That's badass, man. I love that.
Yeah,
It's a rocking little song, and it has interactivity. It looks like a tilt brush animation, but like you can actually do things in it. You can grab when it starts raining knives, you can grab them out of the air and you can actually toss them. And that was like, just that touch beyond just sitting there and watching something. You can also paint with your fingers. You can do a little, in while playing. It takes you on a little trip.
yeah,
But like,
yeah.
this is amazing, amazing.
It's created in Tilt Brush. It actually is created in Tilt Brush. And I'm looking at this trailer right now, and I gotta say, like, the trailer doesn't really sell it. You've got to see this inside a VR headset, and ideally, if you had like a Valve Index or something, it's probably even better with those built-in off-ear speakers, or if you got some quality headphones, because it really is like this audio-visual powerhouse. I feel like a lot of VR experiences can really be like these audio visual things that can be almost overwhelming at times, but I find them really awesome. And yeah, Show It To Me. This is one I guarantee you we probably have some longtime PC VR veterans that might see this episode that have never tried Show It To Me, and they are making a ginormous mistake. You got to try this. It is really cool. I mean, look, a lot of these experiences are relatively short, and it's like, yeah, okay, I tried it. It was 15 minutes, big whoop. Well, I like these powerful experiences, and I feel like you can try them multiple times. You can try them again, remind yourself of it, and you could put your entire family through it and let them try it out as well.
Yep, I one of the first things I did when it ended was go right back in because my attention was on certain areas while the first run through happened, and I knew I was missing things on the out the other window. You're like at a point you're in a car and you can look out the car and see what's going on, and you can play
Spoilers.
this thing over and over and still discover stuff that you missed.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Yeah. And if you like, see, I haven't done this in years. I haven't tried, I don't know exactly when Show It To Me came out, but I haven't tried it since it kind of came out. And so for me, I'm looking at this trailer and I remember the vibe that I got from it, and I remember it being like, wow, this is really cool. Like the music and everything is just all coming together so nicely. But like I really don't remember this. So I'm probably going to be trying this in the next couple of days again and reminding myself of it. So, there's always that factor as well. But let's see here. I'm going to take a look real quick at some of these trailers that I got, and let's see what we can throw up on the screen because there's so many good things to talk about here.
I'm curious, what about Berlin Brilletz didn't work for you? Did you have like a problem with it that you can verbalize, or was it just not your bag? Because the combination of actual history and being able to be in those positions during the raid and hearing the camaraderie from among the people who are doing the mission, that to me is like, that's what I wish my history class was like when I was in school.
Yeah, it was decent. It was decent, man. Like, it would be in my top 100, and I am going to make a top 100 for this. So, and I'm going to and this list will be redone and revamped. Actually, one of the main reasons I wanted to do this episode as well is if anybody's watching this after the fact, please leave a comment after this video is over and give us some of your suggestions for the best free PC VR stuff. If you want to make like a top 3 best stuff and then like a couple of totally underrated things that maybe nobody's thinking about, stuff that we didn't mention at all in this episode, stuff that isn't on the list, because I do want to make a better list ultimately. And the idea is, if there's a noob that, you know, is brand new, they just got a PC VR headset, I mean, there's just so much great stuff. But you talked about history there, Chris, and when it comes to history, I do have something that's ranked pretty high. At number 9, I have Anne Frank House, which this was developed by Force Field. And I gotta say, so I'm kind of curious about this one because I really liked it. It's very powerful. It does some interesting things. It shows you, it's a mixture of some different stuff. It shows you like a 3D representation of all the rooms. So you really feel like I know what this little, like I've been there, man. Like I can go visit this in real life and be like, yeah, I've already been in this little room. I was in this little nook. I was in that little nook. And then the whole story. So Anne Frank, I gotta just say that, like, I've always heard about Anne Frank's diary. Like, I'll hear somebody saying some blah 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 Anne Frank, da 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 da, like a TV show or something. I'll hear about it, but I never really knew the actual full story of it. I knew she was a girl that like I knew kind of the basic gist of it, but I never knew any of the details. I didn't read the book. So I was kind of like, I didn't really know that much about this. So when I tried this experience, I'm wondering if I'm overranking it because of the emotional impact that I had, because I didn't know the entire story and I didn't know how the ending basically was, you know what I mean? And I felt like this was almost a little bit of a tearjerker. I didn't actually shed tears, but like it was within the realm of possibility. Did you ever try Anne Frank House? And what do you think about this as far as like a historical breakdown?
I not only tried it, I had the opportunity to compare it with real life, because I went on a trip to Amsterdam like a couple of years before I got the VR headset. So I've been in those spaces, and it does a phenomenal job. Just the ability to walk you through the tale with the excerpts from her diary that were giving you more information about what her daily life was like. The window, you can look out the windows that she had access to look out. You can think about like what being under occupied, trying to hide a family in an occupied, hostile environment. Both sides, the tension must have been, immense, and needing to survive there for as long as they did, only to, have that horrible ending.
What's amazing about this,
it's impactful.
It really is, and it's also inspirational, because you think of this, I don't know if she was like 15 or 14 or how old she was at the time, right? But basically, she's this young girl put in an absolutely awful situation, but she still was optimistic and always thinking about, I believe maybe I will get out of here, and maybe I can do this, and maybe this will be my career. And it's like, oh man, but it does inspire you, because it basically says, look, if she was in this awful situation for multiple years, every day wondering if she's going to die that day because they're going to be discovered and they're going to get executed or something like that. and living with that and having like close calls, having other family members where they're like coughing or making too much noise in another room, and you're thinking, this fool's gonna get us all killed, you know, by just coughing a little too loud or whatever. I mean, it's very powerful. But the one thing I do, like one aspect of it I'm curious about is, do you think reviewers and people have a tendency to overrank something that has this emotional value? It is powerful, but it's like from a technical standpoint, you know, could it possibly be a bit overranked? I mean, it's a really great experience. Forcefield did a freaking wonderful job.
When technology can pull an emotional response out of you, then it's deserving of everything it's giving. You know, it's like there's no knocks that you can throw against it, because it's a quality production through and through.
Yeah, no question about it. Let me see. Let me grab another one that... see, I was able to get a lot of trailers for a lot of these, but I don't have every single trailer. So I think we could talk about some of the ones that we did grab. So here's another experience. Like, again, we're not doing all games here. This is... I have this one ranked at number 12. This is Blade Runner 2049 Memory Lab, and this was made by Magnopus, which they've done a lot of good stuff. And we're in this point right now in the VR gaming industry where we are waiting for a whole bunch of different cyberpunk style games that are going to be coming to VR. I mean, it's such a natural fit, right? We got Lo-Fi possibly coming very early next year. We've got 9, The Splintered Mind, which is also coming, and we've got Lawn. And there's actually even more than that. There's like 10 different like cyberpunk things that are coming. Now, this is not a game, this is an experience, but I felt it's got really good like special effects, and the way they bring in like human bodies and have like, it's almost like a human body in front of like a photogrammetry, and it's like they've got like a video capture. It's an interesting mixture. And then when you get out into the Blade Runner world, you can kind of walk around a little bit in this world, and it's raining, and you're looking at the neon signs and everything. Did you get a chance to try this one, Chris?
I tried it when it first came out. This is totally a technology flex. This was they're showing off what they can do with photogrammetry, and it was just before the film came out. Definitely pretty cool.
What do you think?
There were two.
Oh, go ahead.
There were 2 free experiences. There was one for the Go. That was another Blade Runner experience. Do you remember that?
Yeah. I forget the name of it, but yeah, it was exclusive. I don't think it ever came out on anything else. Or I mean, it was on Gear VR. It was on Gear.
Right. But this was definitely better because it had, you know, the full 6 degree of freedom for your head, and you could really see that spinner up close and personal.
What do you think? I was going to ask you, what do you think about this when they do a mixture of where they have like a computer generated background that could be like almost like a video game engine, or possibly like a photogrammetry style background, and then they take these human actors, because they had these human actors and they were like 3D models. So it was like, it's like they were captured, you know, kind of like that Intel fractal thing where they do the Wild West and they capture it in 3D. It's kind of like that. Like, see, right here, at this point right here, you can see their physical bodies, and they're taking up space, and it's really quite well done. Do you think we should see a lot more of this? Are you disappointed that we haven't seen, like it's been a number of years, we don't really get too much of this? Like, what's the last piece of content we've gotten that is like really close to this style?
Can't really say. I mean, there are other games that evoke this kind of environment. Like, I believe you definitely have Air Car on your list.
Yeah, absolutely.
And for me, that's even better, because more interactive. Give me freedoms in these worlds to go places I want to go versus where you're trying to lead me. But like, I get what you're saying with the characters. You'd expect them to have, done a full-fledged game using this technology if it were economically feasible, which is what I think they were trying to show in doing this demo. Like they wanted to show off the fact that they could have a character like that in this, and it didn't cost them as much as it would if they were rigging a full 3D model and animating it in the traditional sense.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's one for the devs. We got to find some devs out there and ask them what's up.
Well, one of the, kind of on a sad note, is the fact that in the early days of VR, I think there was a lot more venture capitalist money that was just like floating around everywhere. And because some people thought VR was just going to, just take off like incredible. And if that was going to happen, you would need to have interesting interactive kind of experiences. And so you had a lot of different companies that were basically experimenting, and they might have spent a hell of a lot of money. I got to imagine some of the things that were made a long time ago, a lot of money and a lot of effort got spent on them, and some of them fell flat, some of them still work out well. The good thing for Oculus, like I'm sure Oculus partially funded this, because I don't think you can grab this on Steam. I think you have to have an Oculus account to get this. And
yeah, their name is right there in the credits.
And so the thing about that is Oculus going forward, they've got great pieces of content. Now, the thing is, they're going to have to, will they ever take the time to get this running on the Quest 3 or something? You know what I mean? Because there's stuff that has come from PC VR to the Quest, like Henry, Dear Angelica, stuff like that. And some of it's been watered down a little bit. This one might be a little bit more difficult to pull off, but they have the rights to it. And so eventually you got to imagine they'll have this nice back catalog on future Quest systems. I don't think we're going to get any more Rifts, unfortunately. So I think it's going to have to eventually go to a Quest system.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I don't know. Right now, they're taking their old content offline and keeping people from accessing their games. While I was doing this, I happened to notice that I had a rip coil installed, so I fired that up and played the practice rounds. That is such a super polished experience that is not like anything else. It's not like Racket NX. It's not like table tennis. I'm going to miss the fact that, it's not like I played Ripcoil a lot. It's like I got it, and I think I got it free.
Yeah, it's free. One of those it's things. Free. I think it's going away in March. It's one of the reasons I'm not ranking it, because it's going to be gone so quick.
No, it costs money at some point.
Yeah, you know what? I picked it was free with any purchase. If you bought something else and added Ripcoil to the thing, you got it for free.
That was it.
Yeah. Let me ask you about something else. So I want to move on to, one of the things here, I thought I had it ranked on this list somewhere, is Jurassic Park Blue, which is basically, this is a video thing here, and so when it comes to the video experiences, like 360 movies and stuff, but this is where they're using CGI graphics and stuff. This is Felix and Paul Studios. Do you remember trying this one where it kind of takes you down a path and you're kind of like on a moving? What do you think about like Felix and Paul Studios? They've done so many different things. I do think they are one of the better ones at it, but some people will look at content like this and be like, this is garbage. It's a waste of time. What do you think?
I love it. I think it's phenomenal. All of the Felix and Paul stuff that I've seen has been, they did more than one Jurassic Park. They had one where it was just like a leaf eater. It was one of those really long-necked. Yeah. I think it was a brachiosaur. Yeah,
that was an introduction to virtual reality. It was like a little clip that was in that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But these experiences were always a treat. The fact that you can look anywhere and see stuff and miss stuff because you were looking in the wrong place and thus watch it again. I always dig these things. I think they're phenomenal.
Yeah, and one of the nice things that they've kind of done with a lot of the Felix and Paul stuff is like you'll see like 360 videos or whatever where you're just statically in the 360 video. But like a lot of the Felix and Paul stuff, they have you moving slowly, you know, heading in this direction or heading in that direction. And for some reason, just that little movement factor, like puts you into it just a little bit more. And also we can imagine when we get to the days of headsets that are like 8K per eye and we've got video content that is like streaming directly from the cloud, incredible gigs of information, and it's just like light fields and shit. I mean, it is going to be a game changer. I think people that have given up on VR, like a lot of the venture capitalists and stuff, where they like were early investors in VR, they were expecting this incredible return. It didn't happen for them, and now they think, oh, VR is a bust. It's a dud. That was a complete and utter dud. They're going to be tripping in about 10 years because they're going to realize, nope, VR was not a dud. We're just a little bit early, and we just weren't quite ready for everything yet, but it is going to just destroy all other entertainment eventually, I believe.
I have a feeling that the pandemic may have put the accelerator on some of those considerations, because finding better ways to communicate with people, that's suddenly becoming one of the bigger industries.
Absolutely.
Because we can't get together, but we need to be interactive, and I need to be able to read more than just what I can get off of a camera. So like the body language component, all of that.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Another one I want to talk about real quick. So I have at number 13, I have Brass Tactics Arena. So we have a number of experiences where you're not getting a full game, but what you're getting is like this special little demo game that they've basically created to kind of show off. Like it's kind of like a taster. It's kind of like a teaser. And we have a number of these. And Brass Tactics Arena by Hidden Path Entertainment. See, I always thought that Brass Tactics as a game, I still think this is one of the most incredible VR games ever. Now, a lot of like real-time strategy people are like, oh, this is for babies. It's way too easy, blah, 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 blah. But in terms of like the execution and everything, for me, I've never was into these sorts of games. But for me, this is a game where they've taken a genre, they've put it in VR, and VR has enhanced it to such a degree that somebody like me that doesn't trip on this type of stuff like really fell in love with this thing. And this is one of these games where I wish, in a certain way, I wish I was never involved with like this VR gaming industry and like a website and YouTube channel, because there's like a pressure to always keep moving on, move on to the next thing. And like if you're just a regular person out there, you can just stop and play a game like Brass Tactics for 4 months straight, not play anything else, get totally into it, just vibe out on something. It's hard to do that if you're like on YouTube and doing a website and stuff. There's a temptation to always move forward. But this would be a game, if I were ever to like retire and just like want to chill out and live in a cabin in the woods and play some VR, this would be one that I would sink my teeth into. Have you ever tried Brass Tactics in general, and have you ever tried the free version, the Brass Tactics Arena?
I unfortunately probably played the demo more than I played the full game, which I own. So yeah.
But it's cool. It's a cool free little thing for people to sample, right?
It's a fabulous sample. And see, I remember we got it like a week before the game actually came out. They had this demo for you to try. And I was able to get a couple of friends to play, and we had a grand old time with it. So I went on ahead and bought the full game, and I haven't even played the solo campaign all the way through. I'm really bad at these sorts of things.
Yeah.
It's like I'll test, I'll taste. But as far as what you're saying, playing through, I don't have a YouTube channel. I have no excuse.
Well, if you're a VR nut job though, and you're just constantly buying all the new games that come out, it's the same thing. You don't need a channel to do that. So yeah, it is it's a conundrum because there's so many new things and you want to experience it, and like everybody's talking about this game or that game and it's the new thing. It's hard to just stay behind and be like, oh, I'm not even worried about that. I'll play this 4-year-old game that no one really cares about anymore, but I'm really deep and into it. I mean, I wonder, though, finding games online, it might be a little bit harder, but this, I think, was a fabulous experience. And I'm surprised we haven't had a lot more games or even like a Brass Tactics 2. You know, are you surprised? We have a few games that are similar to this that come out every now and then.
Card Kingdoms is sort of similar.
Yeah.
And
Tabletop Gods was pretty good, too. I don't know if you ever tried.
I think there's a Warhammer game coming out that's going to be in the RTS realm in 2021.
Yeah, there's a Warhammer Age of Sigmar Tempest Fall by Carbon Studio. So yeah, that one might. I don't know exactly. I don't know if they've revealed like what type of game that is. But yeah, let me go ahead and throw up a underrated one that probably most people don't even know about. I'm not sure if you've ever tried this. This is old school. Let me see if where I had this ranked. I'm pretty sure I had this ranked in the top 50 somewhere. Yeah, I have it ranked at 39. It is developed by Jesper Van Den End, and it is called The Cubicle. And it is a very basic little experience, and this experience is very 2016, okay? So this was in the early days of VR, and I don't want to play too much of this because it'll actually go into spoiler territory. But I gotta tell you, dude, in my earliest days in VR, I have a fear of heights. I've mentioned this a million times, and when I first got VR, it was so powerful. I would be in these different experiences where I'd be on a ledge or something. And I'd be like, oh, like it would really trigger that fear of heights. Now, unfortunately, that is like my brain has gotten used to VR at this point in time. And it's like, no, we know this trick. You're going to have a much higher resolution headset and a much bigger FOV to fool me. So it's going to be a little while before my brain gets fooled. But in the early days, it worked. And this game, Cubicle, it is like an office place from hell. And so I'm going to cut out of here because I don't want to show too much of it. But, oh, man, it's incredible. It really takes you on this, like, roller coaster ride. You start off in a cubicle, and it's like, you know, what is life? You know, what is going on here? And then it acts all crazy weird. Have you ever tried it?
No, I haven't.
Oh my God,
I didn't get to.
You definitely have something to try now, man. It is cool. Okay. I mean, it's 2016. It is definitely 2016.
Oh, I could see the controller going through the front of the of the file cabinet. So yeah, clearly the IK isn't there.
But if you have any fear of heights at all, if that still works on you in VR. I had to quit. I kept quitting out of this experience. I would start this experience and I would be like, no, I can't do it. I can't do it. And I would throw my headset off and be like, I can't do it. I can't do it. I've grown a lot over time, but in the early, dude, I used to be kind of scared of VR. Like I didn't know, this was like April 2016. And I just didn't know how powerful this stuff was going to be. I didn't know I didn't know what it could possibly do, you know? And so, like, when there were scary things and horror things or things where it was like, oh shit, I feel like I'm going to fall off a ledge. I remember I was playing Fantastic Contraption, and in Fantastic Contraption, you're on this little piece of grass that's like a mile up in the sky. I used to have to sit down on the ground and be in the middle of the area because I felt like I couldn't get close to the edge. It was that crazy. I mean, it was weird.
Well, did you ever play Carnage Chronicles?
Yeah. I love Carnage Chronicles.
Well, how did you make it past the first dungeon?
I don't know which part you're talking about, but I've definitely made it past.
Spiders jumping at your face.
Yeah. Well, spiders is another thing. I've dealt with them. I mean, I've been able to deal with it. Let's see here. I'm going to grab something else before I spoil all this. So another one I have ranked now, a lot of people don't really like this one as much as I do. But I have Dear Angelica. It was made by Oculus Story Studio. This one is ranked 20th on my chart here. And basically, so this was created in Quill. So you have a number of these artistic things that have been created in Quill and also in Tilt Brush. We already talked about Show It To Me, which was basically created in Tilt Brush. This was created in Quill. This has also been brought to the Oculus Quest recently. And I feel like it's a really, like, this again is an emotional thing. Like if you know who these people in the story are, and that like one of them was famous, and that there were like mother issues and mother-daughter issues, and just the way the whole story is told, and the way that things are like drawing over here, and then it's drawing over there, and then it has like the sound of a car that's going, you know, and then you see the car. I'm sure you've tried this. What do you think about Dear Angelica?
Yeah, it's a beautiful experience. It's definitely well worth your time.
Yeah, and not to be too stereotypical, but this is also something like to put your wife, girlfriend in. You know, it's a little bit, it's not like necessarily space marines and stuff, so it's got a little bit of a different flavor. I mean, I enjoyed it myself, but, you know, different people have different tastes, and it's a wide-ranging kind of a thing. I think it's really good in that respect as well. But yeah, Dear Angelica, I thought it was really cool. Definitely free. Again, though, this is an Oculus exclusive, so it does pay to have an Oculus account if you want a lot. Like, Oculus was throwing a lot of money around, you know. In the early days of VR, they had like that $500 million that they talked about. It was $250 million plus $250 million. And a lot of this stuff, you know, Oculus Story Studios made this, and Oculus Story Studios is basically no more, but some of the people from that moved on to, I forget what they're called now, but they made Wolves in the Walls, and they continue to make stuff. There are a lot of people that still survive from that. But yeah, that's Dear Angelica. I have that one at number 20. Let's see, another one I can grab here.
Do you have Echo Combat?
Yeah, Echo VR. Let's see. I definitely have an Echo VR trailer in here somewhere. Hold on.
Because I think we'd be very amiss not to have the full-fledged esport mentioned in a talk about free experiences that weren't intentionally meant to be free, or initially.
Yeah.
This was meant to be the multiplayer segment of Lone Echo.
Yeah, now I got to find where I have it. Hold on one second. But
No problem.
no, Echo VR. I mean, I got it ranked incredibly high. It's pretty incredible that it's a. I mean, you've got both Echo Combat and Echo Arena, right? Basically, so it's like two different pieces. And which one do you like more?
Well, one is paid, and I haven't played it. That's Echo Combat is actually, or is that Echo Arena? See, they made a hub world where both of these exist. I think it's Arena is the name of it.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Well, it's Echo VR is the hub world, right? Oculus Rift. I'm going to look up the page for it, like the actual web page for it. Echo VR and Oculus Rift.
It changed over time.
Yeah, I thought the whole thing was free now. No, part of it is pay. Oh, in-app purchases available. Okay.
Yeah, it's like $10.
All right. So what do you get for free?
You get the one that's the frisbee.
Oh, okay. The Echo Arena, basically.
Yeah, the
Echo Combat
battle arena out of Ender's Game is what it essentially is.
Yeah. So I might need to reconsider it if it's just Echo, depending on. So Echo Combat is what you got, a Echo Combat bundle. Let's see. This pack includes Echo VR free plus Echo Combat IAP full price. Okay. So Echo VR is your gateway to Echo Arena and Echo Combat. But is Echo Arena free? That's what I want to know.
Yes, Echo Arena was the free one. They now bundle it with Echo
yeah. So I need to retitle this as just Echo Arena, because Echo Arena is the free thing. So that's what I definitely need to do.
Echo VR was the hub world that they created after the fact.
Yeah. I love it. I mean, I love the way that your hand can touch physical objects and the way that your hand interacts with physical objects. You know, speaking of the developer, Ready at Dawn, right? What's up with them, man? What's up with Lone Echo 2? Because the last incredible game that we've seen from them, like this is cool and all, but I want their like single player stuff, you know? I want to go back to the world of Lone Echo. And this came after Lone Echo, and I think it improved on their technology of like your hand physically, you know, hitting a surface and pushing off of it. I mean, they're the best in the business. What inverse kinematics, is anybody better than these guys? I don't think so.
I think you're misremembering. This actually came out before Lone Echo came out.
You sure?
Yeah, because when Lone Echo came out, when I purchased that game, they had a multiplayer section you could go to, and when you go to it, it just says, you know, just go to, it's been separated out, essentially.
Okay.
This was meant to be bundled with Lone Echo. And Lone Echo, they put this out before as sort of like a little test period, and then they just extended the test period to forever. They made it free. That's how it went down, as I remember it.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and... what were you saying?
But I love it too, and I get what you're saying about the developer. But if you remember the last PlayStation game that they did, it was The Order.
Yeah. The Order 1886 or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I was almost writing them off because I was so disappointed with that game.
But graphically, it was incredible.
Graphically, it was incredible, but interactively, it was terrible.
Yeah.
It was like there was very little you could actually do in that. It might as well have been a minecart game. You know, you're just pushing X. Push X to play.
Yeah, it wasn't very interactive, but yeah, the graphics. Yeah, that's why I was impressed with Lone Echo, because I was like, wow, this is so much better than anything they've ever done, really. But they used to make games on the PlayStation Portable, on the PSP. I think they might have made like
the God of War
Daxter
games.
Shit. Yeah.
They ported the God of War games, and they did a phenomenal job. That's why it was like these high highs and then these low lows. They were just all over the map, and it all depended upon, I assume, how much money they were given. You know, like somebody was kicking out a leg on them constantly. So, like, I'm hoping beyond hope that what's going on with Lone Echo is that they're just taking the extra time to port it properly to the Quest 2.
They're just taking the extra time to cancel it and put it on Quest 2 only? No,
they're not canceling it, Anthony. The thing is, I think it changed. This is another one of those things that changed mid-stroke, because wasn't Lone Echo 2 initially just going to be a DLC pack for Lone Echo? Wasn't that kind of how they were?
Yeah, it wasn't going to be a big thing at first.
Yeah. So, like, I think they started adding on to it, making it a much bigger experience. And then there was another shift of, oh, we're not doing PC things anymore. We really want you to, focus on making things work on our portable platform. And, we finally get, though it's scaled down visually, the gameplay portion of Echo VR on the Quest is just as good as what you got with the full-fledged one.
And imagine them on... And so Lone Echo 1 remade for Quest 2 exclusively. If you got a Quest 1, tough titty, baby. You got to have a Quest 2. Now, I mean, we could get to the day of doing that, and the Quest 2 might have enough horsepower where it's like, yeah, this game can kind of run pretty decently on Quest 2. We try to squeeze it on Quest 1, it's kind of crappy. I don't know.
But you know what? Look at, you give Quest 1 crap, but look at what Skydance did with
Walking Dead.
Saints and Sinners.
Pretty amazing.
Come on, man.
Yeah, no, dude, I got my Quest 1 right over there. And I'll tell you what, I've bounced back and forth from my Quest 1 to the Quest 2, and Quest 1 in certain way, there's certain aspects about the Quest 1 screen that, and part of it is IPD too, because I've got this like 70, 71 IPD, and so the Quest 1 works for me better. But despite, I mean, in spite of that, I still feel like there is some advantages with that OLED. You know, you lose a little something by not having OLED.
It's never been to a degree that I really notice it visually myself. I do think the IPD thing was a mistake. They should have just, even if they were going to put in 5 instead of 3, that would have been a better choice. But who knows? There may be some software limitation that was keeping that from happening. I know
they said they experimented with that, like 5 or even 7 different settings or something. It's like, huh.
Well, I know that like Tyrell Wood suggested that you can put the thing between settings.
Yeah,
and that's what I'm doing.
You can fidget it. But you know what? They'll tell you that you're going to get extra distortion though, because the software isn't prepared for that. Because there's like there's these see, the actual resolution of that screen might actually be higher, but they don't advertise it because they're not using the entire screen, because when they're moving it to these separate little individual spots, part of the screen isn't being used. So they're not counting those pixels. So like we might not know what the true native resolution of that screen really is if they somehow could use the entire screen without having to have these little dead zones basically. And they use the software. Like when you switch it, the software switches it.
Right. There was a software switch for the Rift S. And I actually find the Rift S is more comfortable when I put in, you know, my 67.5 IPD, you know, versus doing that slight thing on the Quest 2.
Interesting,
but
yeah.
What you gonna do? I love keeping my old Quest 1 around because there are games where you can take advantage of it, like the mini golf game, Walkabout Mini Golf. You can play multiplayer local with that with a single account.
Oh yeah. So if you mean by just having an extra Quest period, right?
Just by having another Quest around, you can have another person get in the game. They can even put their own name in on their headset.
God, do you remember this, Chris? Do you remember when the Quest 2 first got announced and all that? And we're like, oh my God, Quest 2, Snapdragon, XR2, da da da. And remember, everybody panic sold their Quest 1? Imagine if they had those Quest 1s right now, how much money they'd get for them. Because you can't find a Quest anywhere, and scalpers are just juicing people left. Like you used to be able to get a Quest 1 for a drop in the bucket. Like people were giving them away. Like you could get a Quest 1 for like $180, you know, and no tax or nothing. You just pay $180, you get a nice Quest 1. You ain't getting a Quest 1 for $180 right now. Because we're like days away from Christmas. It ain't, you know, people, it's the Christmas thing, you know? Yeah. So anybody that has but I'm holding on to my Quest 1 because I have one account. I have 2 different Quests. I have 2 different Oculus accounts. And it's I'm in a weird, confusing situation with 2 different Oculus accounts. But I got one of them on each Quest. And it's complicated because I don't have 2 different freaking Facebook accounts to work with it.
Right, I remember you were rebooting your factory resetting your quests
back and forth
in order to get back and forth between your accounts.
It's a real pain in the butt. But yeah, let's go back to this list. And one thing I did want to mention, so on here at number 7, which might be kind of shocking, and at number 8 we've got Waltz of the Wizard. So there's some old demos that are out there, ladies and gentlemen, and some of these old demos are freaking really cool. Like the original Budget Cuts demo. I'm talking about the 2016 Budget Cuts demo, which is actually the game runs on a completely different game engine. It's a different game engine. When Budget Cuts finally got released, totally different game engine, a game engine that doesn't work that great. I mean, maybe it's been fine, you know, maybe you play it now, maybe it's finally been reworked and patched and everything, but the old 2016 Budget Cuts demo was legendary back in the days, because this was one of the most immersive things you could get involved in, because you would lose yourself in this game with these robots. They would scare you and freak you out because you really had that room scale presence. You really felt like you were there and you were part of it. What do you think, Chris? Do you think I'm crazy to have an old ass demo like the original Budget Cuts demo in here? Or do you remember that demo?
I definitely remember that demo because that was around the time that I had a Windows Mixed Reality headset. And this was one of the demos, just like Echo VR, that doesn't work well in Windows Mixed Reality. And the reason is that big-ass wobbly hoop that they have on the controller. Yeah. When you do a flicking motion, it wobbles slightly. And that would throw your aim completely off. So, like, when you were trying to do frisbee throws or trying to throw the letter opener, I found it completely impossible to play. So, once I got my Rift S, I finally played this demo properly.
Yeah.
And it's a great one. You're absolutely right. I remember you talking about this on one of the roundtables, and you were thinking, this was before the game actually came out, that they may have done themselves a disservice by giving away too much of the game.
Dude, they could have sold this for... Okay, this only lasted like 21 minutes if you like speed ran it or whatever. But in the early days of VR, we had some games that were like a half an hour. They could have sold this for like $9.99. I guarantee you, if this cost $9.99 in 2016 and it was never ever a demo, and it was like, well, we hope to have more eventually, but basically this is what you're getting for $9.99. Dude, no one would have complained about it. People would have bought this whole hog. They'd be like, well, it's really short, but God, it's so good.
Yep, the portable portals that you stick your head in. It was the next level transport.
Wasn't this the game? I know you probably did it. I did it, where you hit your head on the ground trying to look through the floor to see into the next room or whatever, and you actually banged your head on the ground. I did. Dude, there was something about this game that, like, the walls and just the office setting and it was so simplistic, but there was something about it where in different VR games, I feel like the way the game engine is running, it might be like pulsating or something. There's something about different game engines that don't give you the same immersion as certain other game engines. And I just felt like there was something about the simplicity of this game, but it ran so cleanly. Like it had this effect where it's like running at 500 hertz or something. I mean, I know it's not, but it just feels so solid. Like the walls are never wobbling, nothing is ever skitching around, and it like grounds you in it a little bit more. Like I would get very immersed in this. I would forget, I'd bump into things in my play space trying to walk around. It kind of encouraged the room scale aspect a little bit too.
It wasn't a set. It was an actual virtual place that you were transported to. That was one of the things that I pointed out playing the beta of Ven Adventures. In that game, they have you in a hub world of the guy's spaceship, but outside the skybox has no motion, so it just seems like you're in a set. This gave you the impression that you're really in that space and you're manipulating it with these portals.
Yeah,
fantastic.
It's the reason why everybody was like, oh, budget cuts. And then when budget cuts finally came, it kind of was a wee bit of a disappointment.
Did you get budget cuts too?
Yeah, Budget Cuts 2 was better, I thought. I thought Budget Cuts 2 felt better, like the game engine and everything. Now, they had some help with fast travel games on that one. So I don't know how much fast travel might have kicked in and helped out quite a bit there.
Job Simulator and the Budget Cuts world seems similar. Like they could be the same place.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because they're built with the same engine, but... yeah, that's just an aside. Watching these videos, I was like, this reminds me of Job Simulator.
There's some old experience. Like a lot of these will take you back to 2016. Like this one right here, Irrational Exuberance. I don't know if you ever tried this one. This was like if you look at the old HTC Vive, the original HTC Vive trailer where the dudes from Valve are in it and they get the box and they're setting up the Vive. Like this was like back in like they would have little glimpses of this in that trailer. This is taken from like somebody's gameplay video, so it's kind of like I don't think the actual trailer for this is very good. But this was a game. This game freaked me the hell out too. This was another one. This was super early in my career as a VR person, and fear of heights. My fear of heights was triggered in a strong way with irrational exuberance. So here's the clip from like the HTC Vive commercial where it's a little bit clearer, and they're kind of doing the mixed reality there, and that's Chet Falazek, I believe, that used to work at Valve at this time. But like you're inside this like asteroid thing and you're like breaking these things apart, and then I don't want to spoil it too much, but there's like all these little pieces and stuff, that they have the guy freaking out and touching different things and being like, oh, how weird is that? So cool, man. Doing their little advertisement here. But irrational exuberance. Have you never tried this?
Not a one.
Oh my God! Yes, this is another banger. Let's see. I ranked at 26. So let's go back over here to the ranking. So at number 20,
you also ranked that car race, that car drive.
Dude, that shit is the bomb. Don't talk nothing bad about that. Okay, Irrational Exuberance by Buffalo Vision. I wonder what Buffalo Vision is doing nowadays, because I haven't heard anything from them. Right next door to Irrational Exuberance at number 26 is number 25, Lost. Do you remember that? So you got Lost and Henry, Oculus Story Studio, doing some pretty sweet shit, but doing it way back in the days. Why did they kill Oculus Story Studio?
It must not have been making the money.
Yeah, but hey, don't you need to show things off? You got to show things off.
But I think they'd bankrolled enough things that they were like, we now have a catalog that people can go to for this kind of a thing. Free experiences that we can just give out. So, I can only guess. I have no freaking clue why. But like, why does any business ever cut ties with things? Somebody checkbook wasn't balancing.
Yeah, I get it, but I don't know. I mean, they're buying like all these, like they bought the Beat, they bought Beat Saber. I mean, Beat Games.
But that makes money.
Well, it made money. Will it make money in the future? Like,
Dude, it's continuing. It's an evergreen product.
Okay,
that was the smartest snap up they've ever done. I was playing it just today. I know that you're an Audica guy.
Maybe they should have grabbed Cloudhead Games, homie. They could have had Pistol Whip and then also had shit like the Gallery. Like, Beat Games has done one incredible thing. See the problem. Okay, look, Beat Saber is a great game. No disrespect there at all. It's incredible. I cried. The first time I played Beat Saber, I cried, okay? I mean, that should tell you right there. But I also cried in this game and that game. But here's the thing, dude. Synth Riders and Audica and Pistol, like this isn't like an impossible genre. Everybody can hit a home run in this genre. It was just, I feel like Beat Games was first to the punch, but we've seen plenty of great content in this category.
We have, but I found myself, I go back to Beat Saber for its simplicity and the fact that I can modify it. I can put in my own games. I was playing Speed Racer like 20 minutes ago, sweating in my living room. It's like the fact that I can listen to something on YouTube.
You're a Beat Games fanboy. No.
I wonder if that would make a good beat track. I can load up Beat Sage, throw it in there. It'll generate a track. I copy it into the folder, and I'm playing it within minutes.
Have you ever tried Synth Riders, though?
I do, yeah. I love it.
Dope,
I think
right?
it's fantastic.
Audica's pretty dope, too.
They have a great mod system, too. You can take, music tracks and throw them into a folder and have them play. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good stuff. And I played Audica, and I've modified it. But I'd go back to Beat Saber.
Yeah. Okay, well, we'll leave that discussion where it is. But, looking at some other free stuff just to mention. So the Vertigo 2 demo, hey, we're still waiting on Vertigo 2. What we did find out about Vertigo 2, the developer said, obviously it's not making it in this month, so it's been delayed slightly to 2021. But Vertigo 2, that demo is out there. That's a really cool demo. Waltz of the Wizard, the Legacy demo. Like, Alden Dynamics probably doesn't want you to know about this, but if you go onto Steam, you can find the original Waltz of the Wizard Legacy demo. And I'm not sure how this Legacy thing works out, but it seems like when you put certain pieces of content on Steam, sometimes you can't remove it. I think I don't know how it all works, but I think there's some, because if I'm Alden Dynamics, I would have yanked that shit a long time ago. This is another example. No, this is right along Budget Cuts demo. Okay, there's been a number of demos over the years, ladies and gentlemen, where I believe the developers have practically given away the store. And I'm like, what are you doing? You're giving away the store. Waltz of the Wizard was kind of like that. I felt like they could have charged $9.99 for Waltz of the Wizard when it first came out. No problem. Now, they've since made extended edition. They added all this stuff. They redid it really nicely. And now they're charging money for it. And they're probably making good money, and they're probably making good money on Quest, and they deserve it because they gave away the store for a couple of years there, so they deserve it. Budget Cuts also gave away the store for a minute there, Neat Corporation. But these legacy demos are out there. Another legacy demo is accounting. Do you know the original accounting game is free? Mm-hmm. Still. You can still get it. So there's Accounting Plus. You can pay money for that, but you can get the original accounting. It's still free. And this is another example where I think if Crows, and Squanch Games had the ability to yank that shit off of Steam, I think they would. Because
I don't think so, because that still gets them eyeballs, and where the money's at is where they've got it. They've got it on the
That's
Quest,
true. That is
where
true.
It's not free.
That is where the money is, definitely. And speaking of where the money is and people giving away stores for free, Racket NX, the original Racket NX demo. Now, here's the thing. Okay, One Hamza. So I believe One Hamza modified the Racket NX demo, because I might be misremembering this, but I remember there was a Racket NX demo that was on Steam. It was on PC VR way before it ever hit Quest or anything. And the original Racket NX demo, I could just play that shit for like hours, man. I didn't need to buy the game. And when the game came out and it was whatever price it was, I was like, I'm cool. I'm just going to play the demo. And then I think they went back into the demo and they like changed the, I think they made like a timer on it where it wouldn't run as long. So it would only run for a certain amount of time and then it would bump you out of it. So they like altered the demo a little bit, but it's still there. And so, there are some of these really good demos and stuff that are out there. Hey, what about Face Your Fears? The original Face Your Fears, not the add-on DLC, but the base version of Face Your Fears by Turtle Rock Studios, a very talented developer, that is free if you got an Oculus account. Lots of great free stuff. Let me see if I can grab. I think I have a Face Your Fears trailer. Have you tried all the little things that are in Face Your Fears, where there's like a UFO thing and all that?
Oh yeah, the burying you alive.
Yeah.
All that.
But see, I haven't tried all the DLC, but I did try all of like the base stuff.
Mm-hmm. No, I really dug Face Your Fears. I never got Face Your Fears 2. And I was always worried that they were going to do a spider thing.
Oh, and they did. Yeah, I have a video of it, I think. But yeah, Face Your Fears 2 on Quest, I actually think it's really cool. A lot of people didn't like it because they preferred... now I'm not finding my Face Your Fears trailer, but a lot of people were saying that... They wanted more of the little bite-sized things that you could enjoy, like in the original Face Your Fears, like a lot of little small bite-sized things. And Face Your Fears 2 is basically two main storylines that share a lot of the same like assets. I think
they went back to it and changed it so that you can now access those scares individually. like you used to.
Really? Like Face Your
I,
Fears 1, 4,
like
in
Face
the
Your Fears
Quest?
2 has been changed in the way that you can access. You can now skip around. You don't have to do the storyline.
Well, there's
I'm
two
not
different
positive.
stories. You can go one way or the other, and it's like two different stories. One of them's like a
Yeah.
poltergeist story, and one of them's like a different spider story, kind of.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think they unlocked something. Try going back in. I think I heard something about that. Mike from Virtual Reality Oasis, I think, mentioned that they'd done something new with it.
Okay, well, it is an awesome free experience any way you slice it. You got to have an Oculus account, but I have it ranked here at number 19, and it deserves it.
That kid's face is spooky.
Yeah. That was a spooky little section right there. It was very poltergeist-esque. What about Surge by House of Secrets? That music video, that shit was... Dude, when the Surge came out, when I first tried that, I remember after that was done, I was like, oh, hell yes, every video is going to be like this. And we haven't hardly gotten anything like that, man. Where's the music videos in VR? Dude, Kanye should be making some music videos in VR. Because the way, like, when the bass was hitting, it was like these like, objects were, like, pulsating and stuff. Almost like in Pistol Whip, you know, how things kind of pulsate. But it was like, it was a cool music video. House of Secrets, they, of course, have made the game Kin, which is this cool-looking platformer that's available on PC VR, supposedly coming to Quest. I don't know what the hell happened to it, but a long time ago heard it was coming to Quest. What about Alumet? This one's on like PlayStation VR, a lot of stuff. I don't know why it's not on Quest. It's by Penrose Studios. I thought this was a really beautiful experience. It kind of has like one of these, you know, it's telling you a story, and it has a little character that's like running around, and you can look really close at it. Kind of like Gloomy Eyes in a way, but it's totally free. Gloomy Eyes, you know, you got to pay that money for that one. Do you remember Alumet?
I actually downloaded it as one of the ones to check out, but dude, 50.
Yeah.
50 experiences.
Well, see, here's the thing. You start on this list, go to number 1. Oculus First Contact. Have you played it? Okay, move on. Go to Robot Repair. Just move your way through.
I actually started at 50 and was working my way up.
Oh, backwards, yeah. What about Oculus Dream Deck? Kind of old school, but this was T-Rex City, baby. And it also had like the Batman thing where you're doing the heights. You're like in Gotham City and you're looking down, and it had that little world that... There were some cool little things.
Now, wasn't there a bit of randomness in which experiences you would get when you fired up Dream Deck? You wouldn't necessarily always get the exact same set of experiences. Like, you always got the dinosaur, but like you wouldn't necessarily get one or two of them. They'd swap them out. Am I remembering wrong?
I don't remember. That's one I haven't tried that in a couple of years. It's something I would put people in. Like I would put them in the dinosaur one I would like get the dinosaur one ready and then be like, okay, put this on and check this out. It would freak people out, man. You know, people that were totally new.
Yeah. Isn't there one where like it's a music one where like this note was playing and you'd have to change where you were looking? Like it was like a Pixar thing.
I forget. I know it had like 4 or 5 different little snippets that were in it, but I'm not remembering all the different parts of it.
Yeah, well, it's definitely a goodie. I put plenty of people in it. I think it doesn't have... I think this wasn't Dream Deck the first experience, so it doesn't have touch controls.
Yeah, I think you might just be like looking around, like you don't really have any interactivity. You're just kind of looking around in these worlds.
Yeah.
I wonder if I wonder if that's ever been patched to like kind of work with where at least you can just use a touch. I'm sure you could probably just use a thumbstick a touch, like would it be like an Xbox 360 controller that they gave you with the original Rift.
Right.
But, you know, another one that surprised me, so when I was looking at, like, what's free, what isn't free, I saw Bow to Blood, Last Captain Standing by Tribe Toy, which is kind of more known as like a PlayStation VR game. But do you know that this game is on PC VR? It's on the Oculus Store. It's on Steam. It's free to play. So I don't know at what point they start charging you. Like a lot of this stuff, you know, like we talked about Echo Arena. Like some of this stuff does have like additional things that you can buy. But Bow to Blood, I think you can play most of the base game for free, and then as you get further into it, you might have to pay a little bit of money. But I was surprised that Bow to Blood Last Captain Standing's free. Have you ever tried that?
This was one of the ones I played yesterday.
Oh, okay. What'd you think?
And I was like, I'd never played it before. I thought it was a PlayStation VR game. It looked like a PlayStation VR game. And it had some quirks in its control scheme. Like where you would think you'd hold the grip button to grab the pistol, you're like actually grabbing the trigger button, that sort of thing. And it was weirdly complex. I went through the little tutorial and it's just like hitting me with all these control systems and whatnot. And then the last thing, unless I missed it, they never told you how to get out of that little circular area that you start in.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like you navigate the ship into this
stuck.
little globe.
Yeah.
And you have to figure out to flip the thing up and transport yourself to the next world. But it was pretty... I was impressed with how well it worked, how good it looked. It's a full game for free.
Yeah, it's
This
colorful
is crazy.
too. It's colorful and see the PlayStation VR version, I mean it looks mostly the same, but I did try the PC VR version of this. I think they had a demo of it and I was like, "Oh, it looks crystal clear." You know, it looks clean and sharp, kind of the Borderlands art style. So yeah, I mean, well worth trying for sure. This is why I'm making this argument that somebody could buy a Rift S and just have, dude, I'm telling you, I could make a list that's 200 things long. There's that much now you start to get into 150 and it's going to get kind of crappy at that point. But there's a lot of, because you can go to itch.io as well. We got things on this chart, for example, I added Wolfenstein 3D. Okay, so Wolfenstein 3D VR, this is 100% free at itch.io. Further Beyond Studios is a developer, and basically what they did was, I was like, how do they have this? Because this is id Software. How are they doing this? What it is they've got the shareware version. They've modified the shareware version of Wolfenstein 3D to work in VR. So it's just the shareware levels that were free anyway. So that's how they were able to do it, I guess, without having to worry about id Software or anything like that. You know what's cool as a video experience? We're talking about video experiences. We mentioned Felix and Paul Studios. Let me get back over here. Man, this is a cool experience. I'm kind of wondering, why is this not on the Quest? Because these would be great things, especially for people that are new to VR. Let me see if I can find the trailer for this one. Here we go. Yeah, so what am I talking about? I'm talking about Newbie. This was developed by Funny or Die in collaboration with Felix and Paul Studios. And I feel like this little video here, I think if Steven Spielberg checked this out and tried this out, he would be slightly impressed with this, because what they did, they made this like first-person movie where you're the robot. You're this robot Newbie that this kid gets for Christmas, and it's like going through the whole thing. People are walking around. They're doing, everything is done from the first-person perspective. And again, I feel like, yeah, technically all this is like a 360 video basically, but they've done some creative stuff. This is an entire story. Like, this could have been the first VR movie, like a little sampler of what maybe could be done with VR and storytelling. What do you think?
I think I'm going to have to watch it.
Oh my God!
It's another one I
don't tell me. No way. You've never tried this.
I downloaded it yesterday. I did not get to it.
Oh my God. I thought you were a hardcore gamer, brah.
Hardcore gamers don't waste their time with this stuff, bro.
Oh, dude, this is like Steven Spielberg made a little VR movie, bro, with a little robot, bro. No, I'm telling you, man, this is super. The only thing is now I've hyped it up too much. You're going to be like, oh, this wasn't that great. No, this is cool. It's cool. You got to remember, though, the year that this is made and everything. But I'm just disappointed because I thought something like this came out and it's like they like tried to make a story really work from this perspective, almost like a Sega CD thing, you know, like one of these it's like a first person thing, right? Now you really don't have control. You're just kind of like going through the story, but the way they do the whole thing. And then I thought all the acting was done so well. Oh my God, Chris, you have got.
So it's Sewer Shark 2002.
Yeah, this is. But a non-interactive sewer shark. It's more like Ground Zero Texas. But yeah, It's really cool. I think this is really good. And you've got.
I'm looking forward to it, man. I downloaded it. It's on my drive.
Hell yeah.
I need to get through all these things because I actually have to update Medal of Honor, and it requires 132 gigs for the update. So all these things have got to go.
Okay, so I'm going to throw another one on here, and you better have played this one. Nah, maybe I don't know if you have or not, but Coco VR. Have you ever tried? Okay, this is pretty cool. So Coco VR, I mean, Coco was obviously like a Pixar movie, right? And we've had a lot of movies that will have some kind of little VR thing, but usually they're pretty crappy. This one, they're like, okay, we're going to make a VR thing, and they really, like, there's like a lot of stuff to this. There's a lot of little different things that you can do. So you actually...
There's a lot of learning about the Day of the Dead. This is another educational bit.
Yeah, tell us about this one.
I really loved the movie, so I downloaded the Coco experience, and like you can venture into different alleys, and there's bookstores that you pick things up, and it will give you, artwork and details about the Day of the Dead. It's a lovely experience. I was really taken aback or taken away by it because it's once again colorful and it's fully interactive.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil it, but like the tram ride was really cool, you know, like towards the end of it. And just like you get to see like this like city square and everything. There's actually a little storyline that kind of goes like you're kind of in this little story in this little experience. I mean, it's a cool experience. Another aspect of this though, I believe this is only available on Oculus. So again, like Oculus, man, they have it locked. Like when it comes to like most of the best non-gaming experiences, like a lot of them are exclusive to Oculus. It's kind of crazy.
Well, they were trying to fill their walled garden with delights. They wanted you to choose them.
This is another one that hasn't hit the Oculus Quest, and one of the aspects of it, see, putting this on the Oculus Quest, you'd actually need programmer because, you know, you're in like a game engine. You're like exploring, you know, so it's a little bit more complicated than like a Henry or a Dear Angelica where they just need to kind of convert that experience into the Quest without having to like recreate an actual game engine, you know, for it as well. But eventually, hopefully, some of these things will also make it to the Quest at a later.
Well, they're on the Quest as long as you've got a link cable.
Well, that's
and
true.
A PC that can play it.
That's true. So let's see. You know, one that didn't make my list, but I saw the trailer for it, went ahead and grabbed it real quick just to mention it. Do you remember this? The Star Wars Droid Lab. This was like a little free thing that you could play around with, you know, with BB-8 and all that. Not that great, though. Not that great. It's all right. I mean,
it was a follow. It was a follow-up to the Trials on Tatooine game.
Yeah.
Like just a little taste.
And Trials on Tatooine is free, and I believe we have it ranked on this list towards the very end. I think, yeah, number 47. And
but dude, you don't have Stardust. Project Stardust.
Project Stardust. Which one? Which one's that? Maybe I haven't
That's the
tried
one
that.
where you fly an X-Wing fighter?
Project Stardust.
Are you telling me you've never played Project Stardust?
Maybe not. But dude, you haven't played like 20 of the things I mentioned, so.
Oh, don't even start. That's because your stuff starts at 2016. I wasn't around.
Okay, Project Stardust, that doesn't ring a bell.
Project Stardust started as a student project, and it basically recreates the end of Star Wars.
Yeah.
You attack the.
I heard about that. Yeah, no.
I'm hearing heard about.
I heard about it. I didn't try it. No, I didn't try
it. You got nothing to say, son.
Yeah, I know.
I just invalidated your entire 50.
You sure did. Oh man. Let's see. One that I did want to mention. Hold on, I want to go to Steam really quick and show you something. Google. So where do you get Project Stardust anyway?
Better than both of these XLab experiences.
That Project Stardust thing that you mentioned, do you have to like go to a specific website, or is it like itch.io, or do you remember where you get that?
I think it might be on itch. It's definitely you have to download the exe and just run it. It's not part of it's not on Oculus. It's not on any store. It's not on Steam. But there is a server that just has the file, and you can just down. And he's continually updating it. He got the go ahead. I think somebody at Lucas actually said it's all right, because he's making use of the music. It is full on Star Wars.
Wow.
And he's voice samples from the movie, and the thing looks beautiful, dude.
Okay, so I've got one to try now, don't I? But let's see, where am I? I'm in the wrong thing. Going back to this list here. Okay, so have you ever tried Quinero Vr on Steam?
Don't think so. I was sticking to most of the actual Rift titles in my attempt to catch up.
God,
there's so much.
You've got a lot of good shit, dude. You've got a lot of good shit to try.
I think they're making the point that there's a lot out there, because there's a lot that you don't have on this list that I've played that's absolutely free.
Yeah, make me a giant list, and anybody else out there, you guys can do this as well. The email is info@vrgamerankings.com. And go ahead and send me your list of the best free stuff, the stuff that I don't have on here, because you know what? I will explore it, find out, can you still get it for free? Can you still grab it? Like this thing right here, Quinero Vr, dude, I can't believe, this is a must try type of a thing. I think we ranked this 27. Look at very positive, 333 reviews way back on August 12, 2016. So this is a 2016 jam, but I can tell you what this is kind of about. So you're at this place, this thing happens, and then you can rewind time and you can go to these different, you're trying to solve a crime. You're like a detective. And you're using time, and you're going back in time and stopping it and restarting it and going over here. Dude, it is so dope. Quinero Vr.
Didn't they make a game out of that? Isn't that Time Stall?
Basically, yeah. But this was a free thing. This is kind of cooler, in my opinion. This is cool. Seriously. Time Stall's pretty cool.
Yeah, but you got to pay for that, and it sucks.
No, Time Stall is actually pretty freaking decent. I like Time Stall. I was a fan of Time Stall. But look, it says if you are a sci-fi fan, especially if you're a Blade Runner fan, then you'll want to try Quinero on the HTC Vive. Yeah, dude, and Upload VR. Quinero is one of the most creative uses of VR we've seen in a while, and it's free. Download it. Yeah, this is basically, I remember way back in the Sega CD days, we had Sherlock Holmes, the consulting detective, and I always thought it was really cool to do detective stuff. And VR, to have some kind of detective thing. And that's basically what this was. You were like a detective. You're trying to solve the crime and figure out who caused this violent incident in a futuristic bar. You can slow down time, nice, reverse it, or bring it to a halt. It's really cool.
I'm into it, man. I've enjoyed a great many of the things that you've pointed out to me.
Yeah.
There's only been one that, and we've beaten that to
death. You've definitely tried the Compound demo, right? Compound.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, I bought Compound.
But the demo's pretty cool. You can try the demo. So if anybody out there, some other demos to mention, like Eye of the Temple, First Steps. Have you tried this one? And you and your wireless desktop, man. You must have been wireless all over your house with Eye of the Temple, First Steps, right?
Yep. You still need a lot of space. You got to make some space for
You
yourself.
do. I was playing this game with a corded headset, and I forgot what I was doing, and like I was on.
Yeah, I saw that show. You tried to jump.
And I landed on my PlayStation Move controllers, and luckily I didn't freaking break my head open or kill my PlayStation VR controllers either. Okay, Age of Sail by Google Spotlight. You probably have tried that, like the Google Spotlight story stuff. That was.
I haven't gotten through all of them, but yeah, I did try.
Age of Sail was probably the best one of the bunch. I think it was the best one. What I am curious though, if anybody out there is watching this right now, what is the second best Google Spotlight story? Okay, Age of Sail, number 1. But what's number 2? There's like Son of Jaguar. There's like Rain or Shine. I might say there's like Rain or Shine, Son of Jaguar, Piggy. There's like 5 or 6 of them. And I think Rain or Shine might be my number 2, but I don't know. I'm kind of curious what other people think about that. Gnomes and Goblins, the preview, is still available on Steam, and it is free. Now, it's just the preview. Now, the full version of this is out now, and I have Viveport. And so the other thing to do, folks, if you really want to be, if you don't want to spend any money, you get all this free crap, and then you also get Viveport. You just pay for a Viveport subscription, and then you got all the Viveport stuff as well. And Gnomes and Goblins, the full version is on Viveport. I've tried to play it, and I'm playing it, but I'm like stuck, and I'm having like lots of performance problems and stuff. Have you tried the Gnomes and Goblins thing?
Nope, but I have Viveport.
Yeah, so you can try the full version.
I have
of that
no
one.
excuse.
That's a cool thing. Mm-hmm. You know, it's made by the director of Iron Man, Jon Favreau. Yeah.
Yep, Jon Favreau. Yeah. I've heard the story of this. This has like been cooking for years, hasn't it? It's been sitting in the background percolating.
Well, he's really into VR, and he did The Lion King. You know how they like filmed
they shot it in VR.
Dude, where's that? Why can't we see that? You know, where we can see it in VR and we can be looking like, just give us the raw data, man. Let us walk around up in there. Okay. Please tell me you've tried Senza Peso by Kite and Lightning. I haven't grabbed the trailer for this. You probably haven't, huh? Because you've probably never heard of it. Dude, it is...
Senza Peso.
Oh, it is so dope. It's kind of like your... we go back over to Steam here, and I'll look up Senza Peso. This is like you're journeying from... Like you've died. Senza Peso. Okay, so this is like you've died and you're going to heaven. It's a soul transitioning into the afterlife. And so you're like, it's like you're on the river Styx. It's really cool, dude. And so here's the way you got to experience this, though. Look at very positive, 270 very positives. The developer is Kite and Lightning. And when you experience this game, just like stand up, but kind of get up on your tippy toes and act like you're almost floating away. That's how, I'm serious. This is how you want to play. Stand on your tippy toes, and then it's like, whoa, I'm floating up and away. And you just kind of float through this trippy kind of experience, like you're moving from, you died and now you're going to the afterlife. Really cool. I think it's really quite awesome. Totally free to play. Look at this. Look at these reviews. Road to VR. Senza Peso is stunning. First of its kind. Virtual reality mini opera. Upload VR. The experience wowed the VR community. VR Focus. Huge amounts of acclaim from both critics and the VR community.
What year was
2016. This? Yeah. Early days.
It's before you predate me, sir.
Early days, brah. But, really cool, though. Definitely cool.
I found that it's an endless bucket of fun that you can have. Like you didn't even go into any of the stuff that's on SideQuest.
Well, right now, so this is the Oculus Rift list, like Oculus Rift, like the PC VR thing, and yeah, SideQuest is a whole nother animal. Do you know I've barely touched anything on SideQuest, and I just don't have enough time to do everything. So it's like SideQuest is like, yeah, I know SideQuest, but you know,
Well, in order to get virtual desktop working, you have to get SideQuest up and going. And like it has so many nice little utility things, like being able to quickly access your video files and being able to load up custom tracks from within SideQuest to all the different games, including your precious Audica. You can put in your custom tracks from Audica in SideQuest.
You know, another experience I'm seeing on here, Abe. So there's going to be a game, supposedly, or some kind of like more elaborate experience for Abe. But there was...
Isn't this like ancient?
Yeah, this is ancient, bro. It's all about the ancient stuff. Hammerhead Vr is the developer on this. Now, this is a really short thing. It only lasts like 4 or 5 minutes.
This I played.
Okay, you played Abe. It's cool, though, isn't it? Don't you think?
Isn't it? It's Resident Evil 7, isn't it?
It's very short. It's like 4 minutes.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the whole setup is similar to...
I guess, kind of, yeah.
One of the key moments of Resident Evil.
Kind of, yeah.
But like, yeah, it's great. He's scary.
Some people noped out of this. They couldn't deal with it. But it's not that bad.
Well,
it's not that bad.
It's intense. Yeah. The intensity of that blinkless eye looking down on you and judging you with that voice. Yeah. And like the things that are around the room as you notice, like, hey.
Yeah, it is pretty crazy, but yeah, that's a cool experience.
This kind of spoilery.
Yeah, unfortunately. Have you ever heard of Propagation VR by Wanadev Studio? It just came out in September. See, I didn't know about this game either. Unfortunately, I did not grab the trailer for this one, but we can check out the Steam page real quick. Oops, wait, I'm in the wrong area. Let's see here. Let's go to Propagation VR. Now, one thing I don't know, Propagation, is why is this free? I do not understand why this is free. Main Fan, I believe, has a video of this, and there's like ginormous ass spiders, and they look very Black Widow-ish. But anyways, here's the thing. When I was trying to figure out what's the best free stuff, one of the things I did is on Steam, I went to all the VR releases, and then I put it where you can do it by like user review, you know, where like Alex is ranked #1 and like the lab is really high, and you know, it's all based on user reviews, right? And then I looked for stuff that was free, and one of the highest ranked free things on the entire list was this game right here, Propagation VR. And look at the reviews, overwhelmingly positive, 249 recent reviews, and all reviews 1,150, overwhelmingly positive. This just came out on September 25th, and it's basically Brookhaven. It's like Brookhaven Experiment, but redone with better graphics and more scarier things. Now, the one downside of this is it's like a wave shooter, so you don't have any. You're like basically stuck in a spot. And it's 360. The cool thing about it, though, graphics, this is a graphical stunner. It looks like these pictures that you're seeing right here, you might think, oh, it doesn't look anything like that in the game. No, it looks freaking exactly like this. And see this part right here? I didn't even get to that part. Look at those spiders crawling down from there. Hell no. I would probably die live on camera if I played that to where the spiders were. I just got to where I got to this thing, which reminded me of, what's this, Venom? I was like, they got these like Venom creatures. I got to these guys and they were making weird noises that almost sounded like a spider. And I was like, okay, I'm done. But this is free and it's amazing. It's really quite amazing. And why is it free? Is this developer hoping that... Are they hoping that, you know, someone will buy like their next game or something? I'm trying to, like, why does a developer do this?
Is it a full game?
I don't know how long it is.
Or is it just like a short experience?
I had to quit out of it, so I'm not sure how long it is. Let's go back let's switch back to this window here. I have not looked at chat at all. So let's see some people on chat and see what they're talking about here. Christopher Davis, love Mayubi so much. Onakaze says, sure, but what if you were in Night Trap? Oh, hell yeah. Put me in Night Trap. Put me in Sewer Shark. I'd love to return to some of the... Oh, TechnoGlitch666 says, Project Stardust is janky AF. I think you know what AF stands for, right? Oh,
I do. Yeah. I do. It's also free at AF.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. It is free AF.
And its experience, as far as being like in an X-Wing, it's better than what the PlayStation had. And before Squadrons came out, it was the best we had. So
yeah, Onakaze says there is no reason Dream Deck shouldn't run on Quest 1. It probably should. TechnoGlitch66 says even better than Brookhaven. I think he's talking about Propagation VR. And Onakaze says there is also a Quinero 2, which I haven't tried that yet. Christopher Davis says, where is Heart of the Emberstone Coliseum demo? Guess what, Christopher Davis? It is ranked like 53 or something like that. So when I have my top 100, but I will kind of reorganize this list. I'm going to take everybody's views. I'm going to retry a bunch of stuff. And I'm telling you, like, if anybody wants to send me a list of like their top 20 free games, put them in order. Put them in order from best to, starting with the best one and then go down from there. And I can take your guys' information and I can make this list even better. But I mean, we do have something, so we're doing something here. But
yeah, dude, your list is awesome because you introduced me to a number of things that I completely missed, and that I could always count on you for that. That's why I dig watching your show.
Yeah, and there's stuff I've missed. There's stuff I missed. Did you ever try Mission ISS?
Yep, this is the thing you don't want a newbie getting in.
Oh yeah, it is a little bit motion sick. Did you try the Quest one too? Pretty good on the Quest.
I don't think I tried it on the Quest.
It's not too bad.
I tried it on the Rift.
Developer Magnopus. Those are the guys that did the. They've done a lot of stuff. Magnopus has done a gang of stuff. They did the Blade Runner one too. Memory Lab. What about...
Hopefully they're still around.
Yeah, that's true. What about The Bond by Axis Studios? This is just like an experience that you run through. It's kind of mystical and stuff. It's very animated, kind of cartoonish. If I show you it on Steam, it might ring a bell. Here, let me go. The Bond. Yeah, so this is free. The Bond. It's far away in an alien forest, an ancient healer and her faithful beast seek out a sacred guide. This is almost like you're on ayahuasca or something, or like a DMT trip or some shit. No, seriously. And I've tried the ayahuasca VR thing. Wow. It's on Viveport. It's pretty cool. But this is more like, this is really good animation. Very positive, 123 very positives. This was late 2018, Axis Studio. If you haven't tried this, bro, this is one for the Reverb G2 crowd. I remember when this came out, I was like, I wish I had the Reverb. Because things like this, colorful as hell. Like this, if you got a 2160 by 2160 monitor, VR headset, this would look super dope. Very beautiful. So you haven't played it. Yeah, you've got you got some splaining to do. Lucy, you got some splaining to do.
Hey man, you're just proving your own theory that you can live on free stuff.
You can live, especially if you go to itch.io. You know, one thing I don't have on here, and I would have to grab like 100 different trailers to have all these trailers, but let's see. It's called Ancient Dungeon. I just tried this the other night. Ancient Dungeon VR. Okay, so Ancient Dungeon VR is on Steam. It's not out yet. Planned release date 2021. Okay, so here's the thing though. itch.io, you can go to itch.io after this show is over. And it's like one of these name your own price things. And so it starts out at $3, but you can put 0.00, which is what I did, truth be told. But hey, it's free advertising, right? This is a cool little experience here. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of, what's that? Theta Legion. It reminds me of Theta Legion VR, except done in like a Minecrafting kind of a world, you know? And the only downside to this experience, have you not tried this one either on itch.io? Probably not, right?
Oh, I see. I accessed it through SideQuest.
Oh,
Sir.
okay.
So yes, I have.
There is
tried
the SideQuest version. Yeah, it runs on Quest as well. I don't know how good the Quest one is. I tried the Rift one.
It's good.
Okay.
It's good.
Yeah, pretty sweet though. Like pretty cool world, colorful, and like the Rift one. The sound effects are very good. Whenever you like hit a jar and you smash it open, there's like a little bit of rumble and a sound effect that combines, and there's something pretty good about it. The only negative thing I have to say about this is the enemies are pretty much easy as can be to beat the enemies. All you have to do is watch what their little pattern is for like 2 seconds. Once you know what their little pattern is, you'll pretty much never die. Although I haven't gotten that far, so maybe I will die, but it's pretty cool. It's definitely worth checking out. Developer is Eric Thulin. It's coming to Steam in 2021.
Very cool.
Yeah. So that's another free one. That one, yeah, I mean, this one would be up there, you know, so I need to reorder how we do this. But yeah, randomly generated dungeon, but you can check it out over on itch.io. There's a lot of stuff on itch.io. In fact, like Gorn, I think there's a free version of Gorn on itch.io. Somebody was telling me that. Let me look up Gorn itch.io. Yeah, so this...
Yeah, didn't it start as a shareware title, sort of?
Yeah, this is... Now, here's the thing, though. I believe the itch.io version is like a really... Yeah, so it says the version here is a very early prototype, not even a demo. The complete version of the game is available on Steam. The full version features more polish, more weapons, a campaign, literal eye-popping, and better gameplay. But this version here, like, you can get a feel for what Gorn is about, you know. So it's free to kind of get a little taste of Gorn. But yeah, this is not the newest version out there. But yeah, itch.io has a lot of VR stuff you can screw around with. But yeah, man, we've been going for quite some time, so maybe we'll have to end this one. Is there any other, like, Bullet Train? Did you ever try any of this really ancient stuff, like the Bullet Train demo or Showdown demo?
Those are the two that I fired up that did not work in virtual desktop.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hooked them up. I'd played them before. It was funny to go back and see them again. Like one is far more interactive than the other.
Bullet
Showdown
Train is more
is
interactive,
just Bullet Train is
Bullet Train
is literally a lead up to
Robo Recall.
Recall. But the Showdown looks like one of those graphics demos that they had for GTX cards. Like, everything's shiny, everything's exploding around you, and you're slowly moving up to this big giant thing that's going to, dinosaur roar you. Very cool.
Yeah, you know what Showdown is all about? Showdown was like, what if we just tried to make the most graphically intense, powerful VR thing we possibly can, where it's like things are flying over you in slow-mo and shit, like a Michael Bay, Transformers, like, when the freaking thing goes over your head and shit. That's basically what they were trying to do with that. And it's...
I think the mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished. But it's funny because, like, you never hear about it. And it's almost like some of this stuff is really hidden. You gotta go to the Oculus store and type in Showdown. Like, if you start looking through their library, it takes a long time before you'll ever find Bullet Train or Showdown. It's almost like they're deliberately hiding them or something. It's weird.
Yeah, they're just out of favor. It's like there are better showcases of what they do. I think is what they're thinking these days. Like, and they put those things front and center. It's like that new demo that you can launch. What do they call the latest demo in the Quest, which has like the dancing robot.
First steps.
Is that First Steps?
Where you dance with the robot, you hold its hands and stuff. Yeah. First Steps, I believe. Oculus
is that the one that you have as number one?
No. Well, this is not Quest
you have
stuff.
First
Yeah,
Contact.
this is Oculus Rift only right here.
Right.
But
First contact, first steps. It's similar.
well, we have an Oculus Quest. I added a top 25 free Oculus Quest experiences really recently, and First Contact for Quest is my number one right there. VR Chat, First Steps, and Frank House, Dear Angelica. Dude, have you ever tried Notes on Blindness? I never tried this for the longest time. I finally tried it. Very good. I was impressed. BOGO, Mission ISS, Half and Half, Henry, The Key, Trip, Jurassic World, Traveling While Black, which is actually another Felix and Paul joint. And I believe you can get this, I believe it's on the Rift as well. And just another thing about this one, what I like is, I think I grabbed the trailer for this.
That isn't Traveling Black.
No, you know what I liked about it is the way they move the camera and stuff, like the camera's moving, and then that, like Felix and Paul, they don't just like give you a static camera. The camera's moving. They put you in these different little areas, like you're inside this little Chili Road, this little like sandwich place, and you're sitting in the booth, and then you're looking at this window. There's like this mirror, and then like all this video's like playing on this mirror. They do some pretty cool effects here, Felix and Paul. These guys have just done so much stuff. But yeah, that's
they're definitely getting a nice grant, and the production quality shows through. Their experience can be seen in everything that they do.
Yeah, but we got a lot of free stuff for the Quest, Home After War, Adam Savage Tested. There's a couple of new free Quest things that I need to add that just came out very recently, a couple of new free Quest things.
Nice.
But yeah, well, we've been going for a couple of hours, bro, so I think we're going to go ahead and basically say goodbye. Let me check out some of the people in chat real quick right before we bounce, just to see if anybody had anything else to say. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like they're talking about just some different things. Nim Sony. Remember, that's the guy that made like the Sonic the Hedgehog thing and some of that stuff. But yeah, we pretty much covered everything. But yeah, Chris, thanks so much for coming on the show. Really appreciate you doing this. I wanted to get some content up on my channel because here's the thing, man. I haven't done anything hardly in this month of December. I did do a Dark Frequencies episode, but it's not on this channel, right? I also was on MRTV's new podcast, Next Dimension Podcast, right? And I'm going to be on it Saturday, and I believe Guy Godin's also going to be on that episode. So check for me Saturday. I believe it's noon Pacific on MRTV. But I was on the last one. So I'm on YouTube somewhere, just not on my own channel. But the thing is, had I been prepared, I would have turned off my Patreon for the month because I knew I probably couldn't do a lot of content this month. So I wanted to do something. And since I had been working on the website and I've been working on this like top 50 ranking, like trying to get it fixed a little bit, I thought, well, this is a topic we could talk about, all the best free stuff, because think of how many people are getting an Oculus Quest 2 or possibly a Rift S, but people that are getting Oculus Quest 2s that are going to use it with virtual desktop, and they can play all this stuff because they're going to have the Oculus account, so they can get all the Oculus things that are only on the Oculus store. Like Mayubi might only be that might be another, like there's so many exclusives that are only on the Oculus store, so it kind of pays.
But be cautious because some of those things won't work with virtual desktop because they're older. Since you're going to be talking with Guy, he just put out a new update today. So you might want to ask him about some of the new features that are in virtual desktop and what the best method of updating the thing is.
Okay, yeah. You should probably send me like a message on Twitter. I mean, tweet at me with a little message of what you want me to ask him so I can remember to do it. But
sure.
We'll definitely do that.
Cool.
But yes.
But like those last two apps that we've talked about, they don't work on virtual desktop.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure. And I know that I need to get... Well, here's the thing, though. If you use the actual cable, like if you're not doing wireless, probably works then, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
I haven't taken the time to figure that out. That'd be another thing to go through all of these things and then put asterisks on anything that you encountered an issue
Yeah.
with. But like that's a lot of work, and you're just trying to do what you can. Dude, I totally get, I get what you're saying, and I'll try and help. Anything that I found, I'll forward on.
Well, I think a lot of people that get a Quest, I mean, I'm sure there's a certain percentage of people that get Quest 2s that are like doing side quests and all that, but I got to imagine it's relatively small in general. I think most people are just sticking with the story. I mean, look, we're the hardcore. We're in the VR bubble. We talk about this stuff all day long. There's a lot of people, they just buy a Quest 2 from like a Best Buy or something. They seen a commercial and they're just playing Star Wars, Tales from a Galaxy's Edge, you know what I mean? And they're playing Pistol Whip and Beat Saber, and they ain't tripping on virtual desktop, as great as it is, you know what I mean? They're not messing with side quests and stuff. So hopefully those people are using the link cable, and it probably will work. So there's that.
Yeah, yeah. I've been surprised though. I ran into a friend's wife who got a Quest, and I posted something that I was fiddling around with, and she commented on it, and I said, you have to have you have to have side quests in order to get this, and she knew what I was talking about and has already set up an account. So it's like, all right, people are taking it to the streets, man. They're figuring this stuff out.
Yeah, people are going to find out about it because they're going to be like, oh my God, there's all this free stuff that you can get. And then also the new thing too is like early in 2021, Oculus is doing that new thing where you can just have like the web URL to like different, and it'll just appear in your Quest. Like you don't even have to do the developer thing and all that. You don't even have to pretend like you're a developer and all that. So that'll be kind of cool.
Yeah, they'll make one step easier. We'll see how it goes.
Alrighty, guys. Well, you know what? It's about time to get the heck off of here. I'm pretty hungry. I'm definitely going to grab me a snack before I hit the sack. And that's basically going to wrap it up for this particular episode of VR 365. Thank you so much, Chris Richardson, for showing up. And we will, of course, see everybody next time. So everybody have a good one. Take it easy, and later.